All right, we'll go to the next question, and this comes in from, I failed to click it over. I apologize earlier. Number 3, this comes in from Pill of Laughter. Greetings, Pastor Mike. Well, greetings, Pill of Laughter. I remember your screen name there. Would it be accurate after reading 1 Corinthians 6:19 and 2 Corinthians 13:5, 2 verses there, to state that both the Holy Spirit and Jesus live in the believer? I'm truly blessed by your ministry. Thank you very much. I am encouraged to hear that. We're going to look, at these 2 verses. 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 19. We're going to ask the question, does this mean Jesus and the Holy Spirit live in a believer? It says here, or do you not know that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit within you? Which, when you see the Jewish background of the temple and the Holy Spirit descending, and when Solomon calls and asks for God to send a spirit, and they can't even do any ministry right away because it's just there's a cloud and everything. It's just amazing stuff. You're like, whoa, that's a big deal. So the Holy Spirit's in us, right? The Holy Spirit's within you, whom you have from God. You're not your own. You were bought with a price. So glorify God in your body. Okay, that's pretty clear. Jesus also said that he would send the Holy Spirit, and the Holy Spirit would be in us. But then you have the next verse, which is 2 Corinthians 13, verse 5, where it says, examine yourselves to see whether you are in the faith. Test yourselves. Or do you not realize this about yourselves, that Jesus Christ is in you? Unless indeed you fail to meet the test. So here he obviously clearly says Jesus is in us. Now, this isn't, now some would suppose this might be like a contradiction. I think that they're not, I don't think it's a contradiction, or even potentially a contradiction, because of course the answer doesn't have to be either or. It could simply be both. Jesus is in us. The Holy Spirit is in us. But I think that when you go to the Gospel of John, it might help us understand this a bit better. John, is it 14 or 16? I'm scanning. Let's look at some of this text here and see if this can help us out. Jesus says in John 14:15, if you love me, you will keep my commandments, and I will ask the Father, and he will give you another helper to be with you forever, even the Spirit of truth, whom the world cannot receive, because it neither sees him nor knows him. You know him, for he dwells with you and will be in you. That's talking about the Holy Spirit coming inside of us, indwelling the believers, something that happens now as part of the new covenant. I will not leave you as orphans. I will come to you. Yet a little while, so he's just talking about how he's going to come to us. Interesting. Yet a little while, and the world will see me no more, but you will see me, because I live, you also will live. In that day you will know that I am in my Father, and you in me, and I in you. Now he's talking about how he's in us. That's interesting. Whoever has my commandments and keeps them, he it is who loves me, and he who loves me will be loved by my Father, and I will love him and manifest myself to him. Now, as we look on in John, there's going to be another section where the Father and the Son are both making their home in us. Let me see. Verse 23. Oh, it was just a couple verses below where I just was. Okay. So Judas, not Iscariot, there's an interesting name. He says, Lord, how is it that you will manifest yourself to us and not to the world? Jesus answered him, if anyone loves me, he will keep my word, and my Father will love him, and we, the Father too, will come to him and make our home with him. Whoever does not love me does not keep my words, and the word that you hear is not mine, but the Father's who sent me. So how is it that Jesus is going to leave, yet he's going to be in them? He's going to hold the Holy Spirit's going to come, the Holy Spirit's going to be in them, but the Father and the Son are going to be in him. How does this all make sense? I think that the way I understand this, and I wouldn't be super dogmatic about it, is that the Holy Spirit is the person of the Trinity who is primarily, in the most strong sense, in you and me. The Father and the Son are dwelling in us, in a sense, through the Holy Spirit. There's an interconnection between the members of the Trinity, and so this is how the home of Christ is in us, is through the Holy Spirit. So I would say primarily, if someone asked, is God within you? I'd say primarily we're talking about the Holy Spirit is in us. But it's appropriate to say the Father's in me, the Son is in me. But I would only add the caveat through the Holy Spirit, through that connection with the Holy Spirit. That would be my understanding. Another view would be that Jesus is talking about a future eschatological time in John 14, where heaven comes to meet earth and all that stuff happens. But I think that the 2 Corinthians passage you brought up, Christ is in you, that there's more to it than that. So I'm a bit open to interpretations on that, but that's my current understanding.